If anybody can get out of anything I've said, I think that's powerful. But no one's going to come to your door and just do it for you. You just have to not be afraid to ask and study things and look at positive stuff on YouTube, motivational speakers, and be aware more of what you're putting into your head and try to be around positivity. Because at the end of the day, that makes you be able to handle things better and that can stimulate a lot more confidence.
I love that take. How about you? Yeah, so the self-limiting beliefs are one of my passions because I myself had to overcome all of those. We all are human. So I could tell you 2 words for that. That would be overcome fear. There's no end to that because the fear is self-generated that we do. I mean, just to even text Rick, I can tell you this much just to say it was like, oh, like, like and it sounds like he's laughing because he doesn't realize it. And from the outside, we create so much fear. And part of what I do in the clinic is really reduce people's fear because it's all self-generated. And it took me lectures on YouTube over and over again. I would listen to it, just whatever I could find about overcoming fear and realizing fear is not real. Your best life is on the other side of fear. Keep going. Just do it. Just try. And even if you fail, at least you try. And if you get those thoughts in your head and the attitude that there is really no fear, because the majority of people limit themselves because of fear. And I have patients, some of them, as I said, are in wheelchairs, but they're dating somebody. They're not afraid. I have no fear. They have no arms. They have a good attitude. They're just like happy and free and positive. And there are people that are fully functional, look great, and, very attractive people. They're so afraid. They won't go out of their house. Oh, I can't drive, or, oh, no one's going to like me. And they already come up with conclusions that don't make sense. So I'm going to get rejected, already coming up with stories that don't make sense. So dealing with your own fear and those thoughts that you're self-generated, you can overcome fear. You're going to overcome, even if it's a little bit. So, oh, I was afraid to text someone or get a hold of somebody. You actually do it. All of a sudden you get confidence and positivity and you just keep doing it. You realize there was nothing to be afraid about. But it is all kind of connected with asking for help and going outside of your comfort zone.
When I said ask for help, the best asking for help is the book. That's why people read books. One word, one sentence, one snippet could change your life. Just that much, And as you read the book, there's so many positive things in there that can give you a little juice, a little adrenaline. It's the best breakfast, lunch, and dinner all wrapped in one. To put that into your head. That might just be a little bit of a buffer for all the things, or it could change the way you think. And that's what I love about the book. It's like there's so much stuff of me in there and the way I do things to extract greatness. And so if people are still a little shy to ask for help, read the book. And the one thing great about the book, it's an ongoing thing. You can go back in and get these things to motivate, stimulate, educate yourself. And if you want to become more confident, if you want to achieve more. And that's the book's not about tennis, nothing to do with tennis. They can see me on court number 1 here in Boca if they want that. The book is for the game of life, and that's much more important than the game of tennis.
Yeah, and you see fear comes in so many different colors, shapes, and sizes, and that's some of the things that will hold one back and fear of asking for help because what if it's fear of rejection? And if I'm rejected, they won't like me, they won't accept me. And so it comes down to that root fear that you're not going to be loved or that you're not going to be enough. And so some of those things are challenges that as an individual self-awareness in the book, that self-awareness concept, because when you can redirect that fear from the insecurity and get down to the root, now you realize there really is no fear at all. It's just that I'm reluctant to put myself out there because, and so one of the quotes that really resonated with me when I was up and coming in my journey was, do the thing you fear the most, and the fear of death is certain. And that's by Mark Twain. I remember reading that quote, and this was a mantra that I reinforced every time I was like, oh, I feel that resistance coming up. What's that telling me? I'm like, that's fear. So I would just visualize in my mind me turning around instead of fear chasing me. I would stand and bold and brave and say, hey, you have no power over me. And that was the minute fear just diminished. And I had that confidence and boldness to now go tackle or address or ask for help or any of those things that were holding me back. So you talk a lot of these strategies in the book: visualization, gratitude, affirmations, the power of our words. I'd love for you to share a few of those additional tips, because fear, and even that acronym, false evidence appearing real, fear is one of the greatest things that will hold us back because of the beliefs, the limitations, the experiences that we harness and hold within. I'd love for you to kind of unpack a little bit of that.
Hey, no, look, fear obviously is crippling, but it
Mhm.
also can be the number one motivator in the history of the world. So it cuts both ways. And I tell a lot of the students, okay, I want you to try to do this, whether it be, okay, I want you to go run 10 miles. And they're already thinking, "Yeah, I'm going to pass out, it's 90 degrees, or they're not going to do it. But if I say, okay, I'm going to give you $10,000 if you go run 10 miles, all the kids are up out of the bleachers. They're going to go run. So you see what I'm saying? This is what people have to understand. The key is you cannot be afraid to fail. Failure is good. That means you're trying. If you want to stay undefeated, just stay in bed. But then you're going to get defeated if you stay in bed for too long too. People have to understand failure is good. That's what and see, because no one wants to be a failure, but failure is good because that means you're trying and you're going to go to the next level. So it's perspective, but fear stops people from even trying. Okay. Now, you don't want to be fearless unless you're prepared properly. There's a fine line between courage and stupidity. You got to be careful with that. But in general, people are afraid. I can't do this. I can't do that. And when they're put in that situation or certain things stimulate them to try to do that, then they get confidence. So that would be what I just said is so powerful for anybody. Okay. Failure is good. And if they don't understand what I'm saying, losing is good. No one's going undefeated. No one ever has. No one ever will. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. A perfect example. Okay.